Okay, welcome to today's video. We are going to be causing some controversy. Probably. Depends on how you feel. Today we are ranking every mainline or spin-off that I've played. Legend of Zelda video game. All the way from the original Zelda, all the way till Tears of the Kingdom. Now, mind you, I have put in time on I've either beaten the game or I've put more than 20 hours or so into the game. Okay? Whether or not that was enough to finish it, we'll see when we get there in due time. So, I didn't know how I really wanted to do this. I think maybe we start off in order, and then we kind of go off in maybe a couple different ways. S, A, B, C, and D tier, right? So, I'm gonna be flat out honest. I don't think I'm probably gonna put anything in D, and I highly doubt anything in C because Legend of Zelda, great series. Pedigree is there. It's probably my second favorite series of all time after Metal Gear. Maybe nestled in between Final Fantasy. So, a lot of great stuff here over what I've played. These first couple ones, all the way to Triforce Heroes, I haven't played. I've played Four Swords. I didn't bother with Hyrule Warriors. It wasn't something that I was really looking forward to. I've played Four Swords Adventures, so on and so forth. So you kind of get the idea. As for how we gonna rank Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, if that's what's on here for the 3DS, they're gonna be in one style. I'm not gonna split them between the two. I don't think that their 3DS counterparts are. I mean, they're a little bit more crisper, but I don't think they deserve to really, they brought it down here or they brought it up here. I think they were good, successful ports. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get started with our list. Let's start off with the original Legend of Zelda. Original Legend of Zelda is a B tier, right? Some of you may argue with this. That's fine. I am judging the game how it is today. Well, a little bit, yeah. By also trying to remove any rose tinted glasses. It is a fun game, original game. I've beat this game. It doesn't tell you what to do or anything like that. It doesn't tell you where you're going. You're free to explore as long as you've got the tools to do so, right? It's a difficult game. At the same time, though, I do think it's the right amount of challenge, specifically for a game that came out then. It definitely revolutionized the adventure genre, so you have to give it credit there. It's just I can't not. I mean, I can't put it above certain things, and if you played other Zelda games, you'll know why. Because the example of an S tier, is going to be Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And like I said, we're gonna jump around a little bit. But I wanted to show this as the evolution that it went from here to here. This is groundbreaking right here. This is what even modern video games try to achieve for A Link to the Past. And this game was, released in 1991, 1992. So, I think. I didn't play it, for shame, until I got the Game Boy Advance version. Because good luck finding a Super Nintendo copy. Even in 2000, it was still kind of a pain to find. But man, holy crap, was this game revolutionary in how I approach games and its design. I mean, even look at the design. The three, find the three pendants, find the. Then after that, you go to the Dark World. You have to find the other five things. It just kind of set the template for what Zelda would be for a long time, and I just think it did a fantastic job with that, and that's why it's I can't rightfully put the Legend of Zelda in B or in A or S, knowing that there is a significantly better version of that game, and it's right here. That this is the spirit of the game. Now there is another game that is the spirit of the original Zelda. We'll get into that one a little bit later. But for now, let's go back. Let's do Zelda 2 Adventure of Link. I'm going to put this guy in B because I think he is extremely... And there's some people that will put him in the C or D category. And I think this game is vastly underrated for an RPG. Definitely a different tonality-wise. Just in general, obviously, you switch from a 2D side-scroller. But man, there's a lot of things in here that really stood the test of time. Dark Link, like the tones and everything like that. Like it just really was a darker game, and I really appreciate it for what it was trying to do. And take chances. I think a lot of the stuff was kept. Like a lot of lore and stuff like that was kept and furthered on into darker versions of Zelda. But yeah, I do think that this game really, for adventure wise and like RPG wise, I think there's a lot of mechanics of this game were taken and used in other games. And I don't think it gets the credit it really deserves, because I think, following up to Legend of Zelda, it's not the same style, nor is it the same, like, same type of gameplay or anything like that. But I do think the quality is there. I do think that it deserves its love, and I do think that, I think as time has gone on, I think more people have appreciated it, and some people have just trashed it. So, it just kind of comes with the territory. All right, so moving on, and what's great is that like we've only gotten like this is the cadence of which these came out, and then you have the sequel to it, which is Link's Awakening. Like I said, the X version of Link's Awakening is going to go here, and the same thing with I haven't played the 3D remake of Link's Awakening. I haven't played this one, and the reason being is I don't think Link's Awakening is special. I think it's so far one of the most boring traditional Zeldas to start off with. It's not engaging to me. It's just, I don't know what it is. I have tried to play this game so many times, and I only get to like the third or fourth dungeon before I stop. It's just not the same as like a Link to the Past, and like that's okay. That's okay. Its dungeon design is not very memorable in my opinion. Its enemy design is very it's interesting. Like there's some puzzles I like. I do like the opening style puzzles and things like that. But like I said, I tried to replay this even recently, and I couldn't get into it versus other ones that I could still play, like Link to the Past. I was able to still play that one, and I was also able to replay these two that I'm going to put in the A tier, Seasons and Ages. I think these are the best Game Boy Zeldas. And if we're going to talk about Game Boy Zeldas, let's might as well throw in... Where is it? Where did he go? This guy right here. I'll put Minish Cap in there too. Minish Cap is a fun game. I would say if there's an A- tier is where he would go. I prefer Seasons over Ages. Yes, there we go. But Seasons and Ages, I love these two games. Like I said, I do like Seasons more than Ages, but I could replay these two all day. I think the dungeon design was simple. It was simple, easy. Capcom really did a great job on these two Zelda games. I wish they had, and I think they did a lot of Minish Cap too, if I'm not mistaken. But my gosh, they had a good run there over assisting with these games. I think Seasons and Ages were just absolutely fantastic. And what's cool is like it did the Pokemon approach, right? But both were different games. Like there was so much content in between these two. And then, of course, combining the two and things like that wasn't the easiest thing in the world. Like, I would love if they came out with Seasons and Ages, and then the little content afterwards to actually be canon. I think that would be awesome. That would be absolutely fantastic. That's something I wish they would do for the Virtual Console. I do think that there's an opportunity there to really make that happen. So yeah, I think these are miles better than a Link's Awakening, where I can play these all day. I've played, I want to say Seasons recently through an emulator on my Steam Deck. So my copy's around here somewhere, but I mean, I'm not going to play that on a Game Boy. I'm not going to play that on Game Boy Color or a Game Boy Advance. So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Seasons and Ages more so than Link's Awakening. And and there may be somebody out there who loves Link's Awakening, and maybe this one is, maybe this 3D remake is nice, but I've heard issues when it comes to performance and stuff like that, which is weird for a Zelda game. I do like the art style of it, but if the content itself hasn't changed, which supposedly it hasn't, then I'm not really excited for it. It's not something I'm like, oh, I gotta have it now, So, yeah. All right, moving on to some surprises. Well, not just some surprises. Twilight Princess, I think, is going to go on the B tier. There are some memorable moments of this game, great moments of this game, but overall, it's a Zelda game that I only really played through entirely once, and I have no reason to go back through it again. And maybe if they re-released it or re-released it on the Switch for HD version, I would think about playing it again. And maybe that's a hindrance for it. But I just, the wolf parts weren't very fun. I go through things like trying to remember parts of this game, and like a lot of the parts of this game weren't very fun. Now I will say it probably had some of the best dungeons and some of the best combat. I remember, and that's something that I would say that it really like puts it up to like thinking about A tier, but those wolf parts, just getting those I think they're tears or whatever they were, it really bogged that game down for me. It really did. I do think the ending fight was amazing. The more I think, the more I talk to myself about it, I could see myself putting it up in A tier, but I do want there to be a fine line of between A and B and even S tier. So yeah, I definitely don't want to lose that. But yeah, I think Twilight Princess, while I enjoyed the game, I was there for the message boards when this game came out. And GameSpot gave it an 8.8. Oh my god. If you ever want to see the internet meltdown, watch a game site give a Zelda game anything less than a 9. Holy crap. It is nightmare inducing. It is absolutely crazy. I remember the meltdowns on message boards about that, and like Zelda, because Zelda is such a high pedigree that that was a crazy day, crazy day. So moving on, Zelda Four Swords Adventures. I said I wasn't going to place anything in the C category. I'm going to do that. Fun, little innovative title, really fun, but my gosh, is it a hassle to do the Force. And the reason why I say this particular version is because I have hooked up all 4 Game Boys to that. In fact, I'm going to shove that one in there as well. I've played all these 4 Swords games. Are fun, little one-timers, but they're not memorable, really, in my personal opinion. So they're not anything that's too astronomical or crazy about it. I do think that at the end of the day, they're just very average. But I do think that there is some fun to be had. It's kind of like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles back then, where there was some fun to be had, but there wasn't a lot of substance for a while. And I don't know if I played this other Four Swords one. I remember this one being the one on the GameCube, and this one being like the first iteration with Link to the Past Game Boy Advance cartridge, because I thought multiplayer Zelda was cool, or at least it would have been cool. All right, now we are on to some of the finals here. Well, not really finals, but yeah, some of the final ones that I have played. Like I said, a lot of this, I'm not going to do Link's crossbow training or things like that. And so yeah, Skyward Sword, or actually, you know what? Skyward Sword's going to go in the C category. The controls I did not care for. This started my whole I don't understand why we make some of the decisions we make when we make some things, but motion plus everything like that. But the whole story and the build with it wasn't very fun, and I haven't played the newer version on Switch, just because I didn't like the version I played at all. Like I said, if there was something there that was tangible, story wise, maybe, but I just didn't. It didn't draw me in. Let's see. That's unfortunate. And when I hear people talk, I hear a general consensus that it's not very memorable. That's unfortunate, because it's Zelda. But I got it. I got 10s out of 10s and things like that, and it got that whole which we're gonna get into that in a minute with another title. But yeah, I got the whole red carpet rollout, and I was thoroughly excited and just extremely disappointed in what we got. So now on to a game that is very memorable. It's very fun, and it is a game that I thoroughly enjoyed. But it is still only an A tier. Majora's Mask I beat once, but I've played through Majora's Mask, doing all secrets and stuff like that so many times. I think there's so much here in the game that it gets treated like a Zelda 2, right? And it gets treated that way, and it's much darker, probably the darkest Zelda, in my opinion. But man, is there so much fun to do? I think the shortcoming with it is there's only four dungeons. I do feel like the game could have been, in a way, I guess it could have been longer, in a dungeon aspect. But what was there was absolutely magical. There are some things that do get tedious, like if you're doing replay throughs and stuff like that, and then you gotta time certain things and stuff like that just for the time events, and then of course doing the the book and everything like that to get all your stamps or whatever. That's a little tedious. Getting the Fierce Deity Link mask is tedious. Worth it though in the end. But yeah, no, just a great game. Solid 9 out of 10. And I do think that it probably gets docked on some people's lists. Some people really hold it high. So at the end of the day, this is all opinion. So everybody can get mad as they want. This one might make people mad. Legends of the Wind Waker, S tier. I would not have done this when I first played Wind Waker, but my love for Wind Waker has just grown throughout the years, and it's easily one of if not my favorite 3D Zeldas. The just vast majority of what you can do, especially I don't want to like I said, I don't want to throw the nostalgia glasses on, but look at what that game was for its time compared to other things that were out for exploring wise. And I still think it looks fantastic. The cell shaded stuff just doesn't age badly. Combat wise, it's very simple. Dungeons, I love some of the dungeons in this game. Part I don't like is the stealth towards the beginning. That is an off-putting way sometimes. Yeah, I just don't like that too much. I do enjoy a lot of the sailing mechanics and stuff like that. One thing I wasn't a fan of was the Triforce quest. However, I really enjoy that quest now. I don't know why. It's finding the treasure chest and things like that. I kind of enjoy that now more now than I did then, because I think I was in a rush to get to the game's ending. But then I was like, you know what? This is an adventure. Let's slow down. Let's enjoy this. And there wasn't too much of it, in my opinion. I do think that, it kind of gets overblown a little bit on how long that quest was. But man, there was just something about sailing that water. and finding new things, you know, and just like I said, it just brought a sense of adventure. And yeah, just like I said, thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, let's talk about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So, let's see. Where did it go here? Did we only put the 3D version on here? That's just fine. That is an S tier game. It is an S tier game because I still get chills when I walk out on Hyrule Field, even though the graphics don't look fantastic. Because I'm just like, wow, look at everything. Look at all this. And the game is controlled. It's concise. Every little movement you make makes it a point. It's finding the first 3 dungeons, getting those beat, getting to the Temple of Time. It's all memorable. We know every step of this game. I replay this game at least once every 2 years. Because it's, I just want to still see if it holds up, and it does. And like that's the thing that like that and Wind Waker and Link to the Past, all of these games hold up. These S tier games, they are fantastic in that they all hold up, whether or not it's a gameplay, design, anything along those lines. Yeah, just the sheer amount of just like love and attention and everything like that these games get, and like the fact that they're still playable and still great. Like if I had the choice of which Zelda, you know, or what to play today, like and they came out with Ocarina of Time and it looked like that, you'd be like, oh my god, it looks like that. But then again, you start playing it, you're like, oh wow, this is amazing. So yeah, I just thoroughly enjoy Ocarina of Time. All right, now, I think we are only down to... So I've played Phantom Hourglass, but I don't think I've put enough time in it to really kind of judge it. Link Between Worlds, this is one that I've heard nothing but great things about, and I do want to try this one out, especially being that I love Link to the Past. So I let me know in the comments if this is something I really need to get into, which I'm hearing it is. So I'm kind of excited for that, but I haven't been able to get a hold of a copy of it. That's cheaper, at least from what I've seen. Let's see, the DX version of Link's Awakening. Yeah, I mean nothing. I said, let's replace that with that one. Here we go. Let's pull that one out because I love the way that one looks. Original gold cartridge. Let's go. Let's rock. All right. So let's do the last 2 releases of Legend of Zelda. So let's do Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, claimed to be one of the greatest games of all time. It's the whole reason I bought a Switch. I bought a Switch on launch day for Breath of the Wild. Thoroughly was extremely excited. I've probably put about 55 to 60 hours into this game, and it is a solid B. And that's going to be the take of the day, right? And I'm gonna throw Tears of the Kingdom in A. I'm gonna talk about both of these games. Excuse me. So, I love exploring video games. I do. I love adventure games. I love adventure RPGs. I love being able to kind of do what you want to do. Those are parts I love. Parts I don't like. I don't like how empty both these games feel. I do think Tears of the Kingdom is doing a better job. Tears of the Kingdom, I've put about 30 hours into it so far. And there are things that I really, really enjoy. And there are things that I don't like at all. We could go into weapon degradation system. Honestly, I don't think the weapon system is that bad. And it's really a lot better in Tears of the Kingdom than it is in Breath of the Wild. I don't think it's that bad. I do think that there could have been ways to, reinforce, like, maybe certain quests and things like that. And I think that could be ways that it could have been done to make that a little bit better. But I don't think it's like the end-all be-all that some people are treating it to be. My thing is when I do a quest in any of the Zelda games, there's always a purpose to it, and I always get rewarded really well. Because there's so many quests in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I don't feel as rewarded for doing those quests. I don't feel as if I need to go do those. Like, there's not a... It kind of contradicts itself because it wants me to explore, but then I don't really get any major reward from exploring. It's just the exploring is the reward. Okay, all right, I see what you're trying to do. But like, what would be so wrong? Like, 50% of the way through the game that you get a weapon that is much more durable, that doesn't break, 5 to 6 swings, right? And like I said, I'm not going to sit there and say the weapon degradation system is the reason why I'm doing that, but I mean, I'm talking about like reward yourself, like final rewards. Like, even getting the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild is very, in my opinion, it's a letdown. What it shouldn't be. Getting the Master Sword shouldn't be a letdown in any of the games. And it kind of was in there. And then it's the same thing in Tears of the Kingdom, where it's just like, man, like nothing. Yeah, fusing the weapons is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of cool things you can do in Tears of the Kingdom. I talked about this earlier, right? So, spiritual successor to The Legend of Zelda. These are the true spiritual successors to the Legend of Zelda series, where, the very beginning, where you can kind of go and do what you want to do, what's your limitations, and just kind of go where you want to go. And don't get me wrong, the appeal of open world is fantastic, but I also think that we have to dial back some things when we are sitting here and we're still doing the tower thing, right? And the thing is, it's like Ubisoft games have done the tower mapping out for a while. Far Cry games did tower mapping out for a long time. So like, that's not innovative to me. Where you unlock parts of your map doing this, like, and it's like, it's kind of antiquated in my opinion. Let me just go there. Let me just fill out the map as I go along. I hate to say it, there's comparisons all the time. Elden Ring. Elden Ring did a fantastic job of this, where I would just find a piece of the map in that little area, but there was always that little indent on the map that I had that showed me where about the actual piece was. And then after that, you unlock the map. And then I don't get the sense of wonder. And like, that's something that I'm kind of upset about. And I hear all these people, I hear everybody going, oh my gosh, like this, and this, and this. And I'm just like, I don't have that. I have not experienced that. And for a while, I thought maybe that's just not something I see in games. And then I played Elden Ring. And I got the sense of wonder in Elden Ring. I think that I was overcome with emotion a lot. There's particular when I got to the second area in Elden Ring. After you spend that, 40 hours in your first area, and then you go off to the second area right after the castle, and then you go, wow, look at this, look what more I have to do, but in a great way. I want that out of these games. I want that out of these games. And it just hasn't clicked with me, and that sucks. And I don't know if it's me, and some of you will say, yeah, of course it's you, because these games are the greatest of all time. I don't see it, and it sucks that I don't see it, because the Zelda series was my favorite series until these last 3 came out, where it was Skyward Sword that started my disappointment. And then, like I said, I went and bought a Switch day one because of the reviews of Breath of the Wild came out. And I was stoked. And of course, I knew that the Breath of the Wild wasn't for me. I was watching Tears of the Kingdom. I bought Tears of the Kingdom because I was like, man, like, I'm hearing great things about it, but it's, and I will say, Tears of the Kingdom, much better design, in my opinion, with some of the crafting you could do, which is cool, but I also am going to harp on that a minute. I don't want to just craft in my Zelda games. Like, I see all these people making all these great inventions, and that's so cool that you can do that, but I feel like it's so forced sometimes. And it's like, that's not how I want to solve my puzzles. It's not how I want that. And sometimes I'm just like, do I want traditional Zelda? And it's like, it's not that I want traditional Zelda. I just want there to be an option of traditional Zelda inside this huge world. Why can't I have these bigger dungeons? Why can't I have these bigger experiences where I'm not just, getting stuck because I totally forgot to ascend to the next thing. Why am I doing this? And then I circle back to, why am I doing this? What's the greater purpose of this? I need to either stop the calamity or do this or that. But you could just do that there. Like, there's people speedrunning these games and not exploring, and they're just going to the ending. And it's like, damn. Like, I do wish there was more control over the narrative. I do wish there was more of a narrative to it. The way Tears of the Kingdom starts off, I do think it's better in that way. I told a buddy, I said, this opening area, if I just consider the opening area in the sky a dungeon, this is probably one of my favorite Zelda experiences. And I'm not lying. Like, it is absolutely fantastic. But then when I get to the world, it's the same feeling I have in Breath of the Wild. I'm very underwhelmed. I'm underwhelmed in how everything looks. I'm underwhelmed in how it feels. And this isn't like a slight against its graphics or anything like that. Like, I do think it looks good. And it runs well. 30 frames on a handheld. Stop bitching if you want 60 frames. Let's be honest here. You know what you're getting with the Switch. But I do think that there is... It's empty. It's hollow. And that's something that I can't get over. As I play it, I'm just kind of going, why? And like that shouldn't be a question I have. And I'm not... And like, I don't know if it's just me looking for reasons to complain about it, or if maybe it's just not as good as some people think it is. And, and I'm not going to sit here and argue all day. Like, if you love these games, you love these games. And there's a reason you do. But I'm also going to tell you that there is a subsection of us that we don't feel that as if the original, we don't feel like Zelda's DNA is being transferred thoroughly throughout these. And I don't need it to be, I gotta find the 3 pendants, and I gotta find the 3 this, or then I gotta find the 5 this. But give me the reason for the upgrade. Give me the upgrade. Rather than it just be, oh, here's a slightly better this, here's a slightly better that. Like, give me, if you're going to go full, maybe this is just, wishful thinking. If you're going to go into full on, you have multiple different weapons, give me classes. Give me certain things that I can build a Link towards, and let me have fun with that. Like, you give me all this stuff for crafting, but, let me have, different builds with Link. You can kind of do them, but not to a full extent. Like, there's no stat changes or anything like that, right? I'm not asking to, do poison or anything like that, but at the same time, I'm like, well, why can't that be, why can't that be a build? And I'm sure that you can get creative and do that, but the game is not exactly spelling that out for you. And then, like I said, traversal-wise, it's like, oh, cool, yeah, I'm glad that if I see a mountain over there, I can go to it. But on my way to it, there's nothing. It's empty. It's an empty world where you will sometimes find interesting things. And I don't know. Maybe that's where I've fallen off a little bit, is because I don't have fun playing these 2 games. But I'm not going to knock them down any lower than B or A, because I do see their greatness. I do see why people love these games. And I'm jealous of that. I wish I had that same reverence and same feeling. I wish right now. It's been about 4 or 5 days since I played Tears of the Kingdom. I don't have a drawing to go back to it. And that sucks. Every other Zelda game I have played, I've beat it start to finish. Didn't care. I did that same thing to Elden Ring. Elden Ring, I beat it start to finish. 122 hours. Carrying and helping somebody else throughout the entirety of the game as well. I just absolutely those are how I play those style of games. And it sucks that I don't feel the same way. So, anyways, that's my long tangent on those games. If you like, understand what I'm saying here, like I said, I'm not going to put down anything that you like. Some of you guys may think Skyward Sword is the best Zelda game, and that's the thing. Opinions are, everybody has one, right? So let me know how you rank your games in the Zelda series down below. I would love to hear it. Tell me why Breath of the Wild is the greatest of all time. Like, tell me why. Tell me why Tears of the Kingdom is the greatest of all time. Tell me why I'm wrong about Ocarina of Time. Tell me why I'm wrong about Link to the Past. Tell me why I'm wrong about Wind Waker. Tell me that there's a hidden gem out here outside of Phantom Hourglass or Link Between Worlds, which I know is a hidden gem. Tell me something else about some of these other titles that maybe I don't know. Maybe there's another Zelda game that's not here. But yeah, I just at the end of the day, I want to hear what you guys want to hear your guys' thoughts. Be educated about it though. Like I said, I'm not going to tear you down for liking these games. I just don't feel it, and that's not that I ranked them low. I mean, they're still A and B. Zelda is 8 out of 10. Tears of the Kingdom is 9 out of 10. In my opinion. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Tell me if we should keep doing these videos. I think they're a lot of fun. Maybe we'll rank their weapons in Zelda. I don't know. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Until then, I appreciate it and thank you. Bye.